So many flowers. Are they all medicinal? Welcome this evening on Nature's Mysteries Medicine Show. This episode, we're going to be discussing red clover. I'm Michele Wildflower. I'm the Director of Education at Nature's Mysteries Academy of Holistic Health. I'm also the founder and formulator for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary. And we're so excited to have you here with us this evening. Thank you for joining us. We just started our first Holistic Health Practitioner Program class last night, and I got to meet my 12 new students. Actually, last night there was only 10 there, but today a couple more signed up that we're trying to get their paperwork in. So we actually have a dozen students in our Holistic Health Practitioner Program, and we're so excited. These are amazing students that are going to be wonderful holistic health practitioners in another 12 weeks. And they then will apply to the American Association of Drugless Practitioners to become board certified holistic health practitioners. So we're so excited for them, and we're excited for you to be here and learn about red clover with us this evening. I actually have some that we picked out actually in that field right there. And red clover, I think it probably grows near you because it's a pretty popular weed kind of that grows everywhere. And its number of properties are so numerous. I don't think that we're going to get into all of them here this evening because that would take a much longer episode than we have time for. But I wanted to talk about some of its main properties when it comes to being an anti-cancer herb. It's anti-neoplastic, which means it helps to kill cancer cells. It actually induces apoptosis. And if anyone isn't familiar with what that means, it means that when cancer cells come in contact with red clover, they are forced to commit cellular suicide. And that's what apoptosis is. It is when cells commit cellular suicide. And that's what you want for cancer cells, because cancer cells are kind of like immortal and your body isn't noticing them. There's this miscommunication somehow going on. And that's basically what cancer is, because all of us have cancer cells growing in our body, but our immune system, an immune system that's functioning properly, will rid our body of those cancer cells as they are produced. Our body will remove them. But if there's something hindering our immune function, then they'll go by unnoticed. And that's why many of the natural treatments that they have for cancer are actually trying to awaken that vital force within us and boost your immune system and kind of like wake it up and get it to notice that there's actually cancer cells growing in your body. So red clover induces apoptosis. It actually helps to prevent angiogenesis. So when tumors are growing, one of the main things that they do is sprout like new blood vessels, and that's how they grow bigger, is with those extra blood vessels that they're sprouting. And red clover actually prevents angiogenesis, so it stops them from sprouting those new blood vessels, which in turn actually reduces the size of tumors because that's how they grow. So if you had any kind of cancer diagnosis with yourself or anyone in your family, it's definitely one that you would want to make sure that you are incorporating into any anti-cancer or cancer-free protocol or prevention. So it's great for that. It's also great for any kind of like asthma or bronchial issues. I don't know if you've ever seen it growing in the field, but my daughters and I, when they were little, and we'd be, just going for a walk, when they saw red clover, they'd get so excited because you can actually pick, here, I'll show you. You can actually pick the flower, not, with these because it's dried, but if you look see all those little, let me get it to focus on all those little petals on there. It's kind of focusing on me. I don't know if I can get, but you can kind of see it, right? So all of those actually, when it's blooming, if you just pick one off and you like just bite on the very end of it, it's so sweet. And I bet you could probably still find some to try that with. It's like so sweet. So it's really good in tea, and it's a great immune boosting supplement. It also helps with lymphatic swelling. I don't know if everyone is familiar with my story. And 7 years ago, my husband actually was diagnosed with a triple hit of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and they only gave him a 35% chance of curing it, told him to get his affairs in order and everything. And I researched it, and I came up with about 20 different vitamins, herbs, enzymes, minerals, mushrooms, which is actually what our logo is for Nature's Mysteries Apothecary. And we had it gone in 3 months, to his oncologist's dismay. And one of the main herbs that I attribute that healing to is red clover. As soon as we got any kind of diagnosis that he had swollen, he actually had swollen lymph nodes in his esophagus, trachea, and abdomen, and among other places, but mostly there. And so as soon as we found out that, because it wasn't visible, all of that, it took a CAT scan to find that out. And that was after like 4 emergency room visits. So he had all this pain and no one knew why. And no one would, they just kept wanting to keep giving him pain medications. And we're not people who use really any kind of medications, definitely not pain ones, because they tend to knock us out because we're not used to those kind of substances. And so if he was trying to relieve his pain and he took one, he'd just have to go take a nap. And he wanted to take them so that he could get back to work and finish the jobs that he had promised people that he was going to finish. So using red clover is known for lymphatic swelling and reducing lymphatic swelling. So that was one of the herbs that I turned to in the very beginning and started making him tea blends with that. And if you are, battling any kind of lymphatic issues or swelling, that's another thing that I would recommend that you use it for. It's also great for any kind of arthritis or asthma, athlete's foot. It's good for, actually helps with high blood pressure and all kinds of bone issues. So if you have any kind of bone density reduction or bone loss, the tea blend would help if you took that. And in my book, Discover the Essence of Plant Medicine, the 5 Principles of Life-Saving Herbs, we go over, there's quite a few recipes in there, and it's been used, it traces back to Chinese medicine. They've been using it for a very long time, and it's known to help relieve with cancer and boosting blood and being like a blood purifier. So it has many uses, and it's been around for a very long time, so it's definitely one that's worth looking into. It's also good for women who are suffering with hormone imbalances because it helps to balance your hormones. So if you're dealing with any kind of, estrogen issues or hormone imbalances, that would be an herb that you might want to investigate incorporating into your wellness routine. It also helps boost collagen, so it has anti-aging properties to it. And the number of, it's also antiviral and expectorant. Like we said, it helps with like asthma and issues like that. So if you had any kind of cough or anything, it's like a little prescription bottle that actually relieves so many different symptoms that Mother Nature has formulated for us, that's so perfect in its compounds and what it targets. And this is my book, and if you want to learn a little bit more, our school is actually closed now. The doors are closed for enrollment, so you wouldn't be able to get into the Holistic Health Practitioner program, but this is the textbook that we're using. And so if you wanted to try to apply for the next session, which will be beginning next year, then you could get a jump on it and get the book, and then you would already have some idea of the material. And when we're going through it, you might even help us with some of the questions that we're asking in there. So the program is actually 12 weeks, and there's 2 discussion posts in a Facebook group a week that are part of the program. And there's really no other requirements. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can go to naturesmysteries.com and look up Nature's Mysteries Academy and see if you'd like to sign up for the next session. And next session, students will actually be able to apply for VSAC grants to come to the school. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can plan on that for next year and figure out what next year might hold for you. And I thank everyone for coming. I think that's about all we had that we were going to talk about this evening for Red Clover. One more thing that I wanted to say is that it is awesome for warding off evil spirits. In ancient times, they actually thought that carrying it with you could help to keep away negative energies. And so, not that there's necessarily evil spirits that we're trying to avoid, but the fact that it's antiviral and antibacterial, you know, those could be foreseen as evil because they don't make you feel good. And if, you know, viruses are kind of attacking us, so that's not nice. So carrying it with you can actually repel negativity and boost your immune system if you want to use it in a tea blender. Like I said, we have quite a few recipes in the book that you can refer to. And you can tune in next week. This whole month of September, we're talking about wildflower medicine. And last week we talked about St. John's wort. And this week we're talking about red clover. And like we said, it also has sedative properties. So if you were looking for an alternative to sleeping pills, you could try red clover. And it grows everywhere. You could just pick it and then just dry it on a screen, or you could, if you were gonna try to dry it hanging up, you could cut it kind of lower down near the ground so that, you know, it's about that long, and then you could tie a string around it and dry it like that. And or on a screen, either way works, but you just want to make sure that you keep it in a dust-free area. And in my book, we also go over growing, harvesting, storing, preparations, and applications of 33 different herbs. Red clover is just one of them. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can buy the book, and there's over 150 different recipes in there, 650 pages. So there's a lot of information. It'd be a great, one of my students said that it was a wonderful resource and that it had more information in there than in any book that they have found in all their years of studying herbalism. And for me, I felt like the same thing, and that's what I was trying to do. Is the information that I've accumulated over the years has been from many different books, but I wanted to try to give it to you all in one so that you didn't have to try to have all these different books. Mine would be a pretty complete resource for those 33 different herbs that you are trying to learn about. And thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you've been able to enjoy these couple of nice days. I don't know if you're tuning in from Vermont. You can type in the comments where you're tuning in from. We've had, now it looks like it's about to rain out there, but the last few days, last couple weeks actually, it's been kind of sunny and nice, which has been wonderful because it was a rainy summer. We had flooding and a lot of businesses went out, and so it's nice to get a little bit of summer, even if it's at the tail end of it. And I hope that you've been able to get outside and get some of those negative ions in you, which help boost your immune system, and some sunshine, full spectrum light. And we'll hope to see you here next week when we discover the essence of plant medicine. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care.